Hey guys. Hello everyone. I just thought I wanted to create a video, maybe starting out with some rapid chess. Um, you know, uh, when you start a channel, this is what I was unaware of. You actually can't start streaming on YouTube for 24 hours. So I guess we're gonna have to wait that out to start streaming, which is okay. But in the meantime, I thought I would just record me playing just some 15-minute rapid chess, 10-second increment. And hopefully we can win a game with it. So I'm starting out with the London system. Bishop f4 is considered more accurate than starting with knight f3 if white's going to play the London system. Oddly enough, chess.com recognizes this as the Mason attack. That name is probably less well known than calling it the London system. I believe there is some move order which chess.com will call the London system. But yeah. As of right now, opening databases and the Encyclopedia of Chess opening changes every year, so I don't necessarily expect chess.com to always keep up with all that, especially when they have everything else on their hands, and I think they do a really good job of preventing a chess site where you can get a game very easily. So it looks like my opponent is just sacrificing a knight. I'm kind of low rated right now. 1244 is a lower range. Okay, so that was easy enough. Let's just do another game real fast because we have time. I'm using Edge to play these games on. Chrome might work better because it does seem like the pieces are getting a little bit of lag when I'm trying to move them around, especially while recording. I'm not sure if that has to do with my encoding settings or anything like that. If any of you guys have tips, feel free to leave them in the comments. Okay, so he starts with the bishop's opening. My typical response to this is knight f6. If he's going to play knight f3, then we'll go into a 4 knights. Okay. And I hope here that he actually plays knight c3, because then I'll do a little trick where you take on e4. So he could either do that or he could castle. Another move is d3. It's popular. But we're hoping for knight c3. Okay, so he actually does something that could transpose into the Scotch gambit. Typically, I don't find that this line is necessarily good for white. So I have two options. I can take on e4 first, or I can take on d4 with the pawn. And I think the best way to approach this is actually to we're going to go ahead and take on d4, and then when he takes, I'm just winning a pawn over here with knight takes e4. But then black has to be very careful, because white can get some good development and some attack. His first strategy is going to be to castle and pin my knight against my king, and that can be defended with d5, knight f6, and maybe bishop e7. I know you're supposed to be able to draw arrows. Maybe it doesn't work during live chess, but it kind of helps to be instructional. I might email chess.com regarding that. Maybe it's only granted to streamers or something along those lines, but I've seen others do that kind of thing before. Okay, so we're just going to take. And I have my computer resting on sort of like a rolling desk, so if I move, it will shake a lot, because it's just the built-in camera in my laptop, so hopefully that's not too annoying. I imagine there's going to be some wiggling. I might look into some sort of correction software where it stabilizes it. Okay, so this is one of the less accurate ways to reply. What he's thinking is after I take on f7 that he's going to play queen f3, but the problem is I have queen f or knight f6. But it's still dangerous for black, so I have to be careful. But at this point, with perfect play, I believe I'm winning. This is certainly an interesting approach. Now the first move that comes to mind is king g8. But that would actually fall to queen d5, and I think that's checkmate. So what I want to play perhaps is king e7. King e7. But that also doesn't work. See, if I just play g6, he plays... If I just play g6, he plays queen d5 check. And he picks the knight back up, which is annoying. So what moves do we have? I'm thinking the best strategy is probably just to play g6 here. Okay, he plays what I thought he would. Let's go ahead and try this response. He's going to take on d4, so he wins his piece back. I'm probably going to play bishop c5. Bishop c5 looks good because then I'm threatening rook e8, pinning the rook to his queen to his king along the e file. Okay. So like I said, double check, bishop c5, anything that can hurt me. I'm thinking it looks good. He does have knight takes, which is kind of annoying. Let's say I do knight takes, queen takes with check, queen f6. No, I like my bishop here because even if knight takes, then I just have two open file. Well, I might capture with the b pawn, and then, yeah, so if knight takes c6, b takes c6, and then bishop a6 in some lines. And I'm also threatening here rook e8. So we'll pre-move this. If he doesn't take, fine. That's fine. An interesting move would be queen e6. I take with the pawn, he takes with the knight, fork my king and queen, but he just gets a pawn for a knight, so it's not worth it. Maybe he won't see the threat. So right now I'm double attacking the knight, and I'm threatening to play rook e8. We'll see how he deals with that. Okay, so he captured like I thought. Okay, this is actually bad news. Okay, if he takes my bishop, he's prevented from castling, so I'm not sure how that's going to shape out, because right now it actually just looks like I'm sacking a piece, which is not the best. I saw this at the end of the line, and I just completely missed it. So, and he's not even going to be prevented from castling until I play bishop a6, because he has bishop e3 here. No, if he has bishop e3, I have queen takes b2, and he loses the rook. So he has to move his king. Let's see if he sees it. But this position is very double-edged. I'm not sure how accurate the play is. Maybe we'll take a look at the analysis afterwards. And these kind of videos can be a little boring, a little long. It's hard to wait for the opponent to make their move, but I don't know. It's just fun to chat. And if you guys ask questions in the comments on the previous video, I would definitely be look through some of those and like address what I can. Or if you want me to do like some instructional video or some time control specifically, just go ahead and request it in the comments. And technical advice would be greatly appreciated if you've used OBS before. See, I thought this didn't work. I'm seeing that if I take, he might have queen c3, which is annoying. But if queen c3, rook takes e3, then I have queen, and then I have queen c1. So let's go to this line. So what I'm saying is queen c3, rook takes e3, and then he recaptures with the pawn. If he recaptures with the queen, I take his rook. Okay, so here he just gives it up. That's interesting. Maybe it's some attempt to trap my queen. He might be trying to play. Very clever. That I did not see. So at this point, he's won a piece. This game is probably lost. But we will keep fighting. So let's go here. The plan being maybe trying to double up and give him some back rank checkmates. If I do every move with tempo, it should be a lot easier. Interesting. So right now I'm looking at rook e2. That line looks decent enough, because I'm automatically getting rook e8 no matter what. Yeah, sorry if I'm mumbling a little bit. I just recently got my wisdom teeth out, actually 2 days ago. And so the second day is supposed to be a lot of swelling, I guess. It hasn't really been so bad for me, but my dentist said the surgery went really well with mine. So now he can't capture any of these pawns on the c file, except for if he takes on c6, and then I were to take on. If he takes on c6 and I take on d2, then he can actually take on e8, and it's not good. Okay, so he's going for this. I think the best strategy is to probably protect my bishop in the process. I'm not sure what he'll go for here. He may go for queen a8 check, but that seems a little bit passive for his queen. The thing I like about this move is it blocks the the b2 g8 diagonal for his queen, which is where my queen, which is the diagonal my king's on. And after this game, we'll do a little analysis, maybe with the engine, just to see where I could have played a little better. I mean, that's what chess is all about, learning, right? I mean, sometimes it can be disheartening to lose, but I mean, what are you gonna do? I'm hoping the audio levels are okay. I actually have a pretty nice microphone I had a different YouTube channel quite a few years ago. So this is interesting. So my immediate thought is to play rook d6, hoping if he takes here, I win this piece, and it's just a double attack. I'm not seeing too many squares that his queen can go to check me. In fact, I do not think there is a safe one, which is nice, actually. It doesn't mean his queen's trapped, but it does mean I'm winning back the piece and this game is not completely lost. Having the doubled rooks, whenever you are facing a queen with versus 2 rooks, like you maybe will sacrifice your queen for his 2 rooks, and so you have the 2 rooks, you want to make them on the same file or the same rank, because they're more powerful in that fashion. And if I can get both of my rooks on the 7th rank here, his rook is never going to be able to move off of f1, and his queen's never going to be able to checkmate me by herself. So that puts me in a good position where this bishop can eventually target f1, and hopefully I can use my rooks to my advantage there. Maybe pick off all of his pawns, and I might have some chances for survival. We'll see. But that looks like a really good line. I'm seeing a move for him, queen a4, might be saving his bishop here, which is unfortunate. It doesn't actually save his knight. I mean, not his bishop. It doesn't actually save his knight because I can capture with the rook on the e file instead of the d file. And so my rook on d7 will continue to be protecting. My rook on d6 will continue to be protecting my bishop on a6. For the OBS settings, I'm using the integrated graphics on my computer. I couldn't get the display capture to work with the NVIDIA, and I saw a lot of other people were having that problem. If anyone knows how that works, direct me to a link with instructions or something. I would appreciate that. Or also, I think I have the video quality set to the 2nd highest, not the lossless quality one, but one slightly less than that. Let's just double check that this is good. And I think it is. So what I'm trying to do is I'm going to capture on a2, and then I'm going to move my other rook on the e file to the c file. So opening up a discovered attack to his rook on f1, and as soon as it moves, I can just capture on f1, unless his queen's there, and eventually I'll just be down the exchange. I'm not sure what the theoretical approach to a rook versus bishop ending is. It may just be winning for whichever side has the rook. But I think against a lower rated player, I may be able to hold the draw. And obviously, this player isn't to be laughed at. He has a good rating, 1359. I mean, I've been that in probably the past week or so. But yeah, hopefully we can hold the draw, and maybe, I mean, never give up hope. I say when at this level, I think resigning is somewhat foolish. Any time that I've gone on tilts during several blitz games and attempted to just kind of go through the games, losing one after another, particularly by resigning as soon as I would lose a piece or something along those lines, I found that that's a pretty inferior strategy because I lose the most points in that fashion. Okay, so the thing is, he can never promote on c8 because my bishop on a6 is covering the c8 square, and I'm going to have a rook on the c file soon. So we're going to see how that goes down. Okay, I'm seeing a line here. Rook takes f2. Rook take f2. Rook a1. And then he goes and blocks with the rook. Rook takes checkmate. So actually, I could have just taken on f2 my last move. This is a tactic. Takes. I don't want to pre-move that. Takes on f2. Takes on f2. Rook a1. Okay. So I think he may have seen this coming, which is unfortunate, but it's okay. I should have taken on f2 last move, and I'm not sure if that would be winning, but it would certainly be good for me because it would expose his king, and I could probably just keep checking him a bunch. So let's see if he sees his rook on f1 is attacked. I hope he doesn't. Discovered attack, of course. I'm sure my average watch time is going to be abysmal because 30-minute videos aren't exactly the most popular on YouTube. But, oh well. That's a problem because this is a very good line for him. What he's threatening is rook e8 checkmate. And I'm thinking it may be time to resign soon. I'm thinking I have a few more tricks. We're going to start with this. Guarding checkmate on e8. But already right away I see that he has queen b8, so that's no good. Unfortunately. Queen b8, yeah, and he's just going to win the bishop. It does give me an extra tempo and some guards behind my pawns. Maybe what I can do is force him into a draw. If I can capture on g2, I can probably get a draw with moving my rooks back and forth. Okay, so he goes through one of the possible lines, just checking me first. Of course, I have to move here. He can play queen f4 check, and maybe that leads to checkmate somehow. I'm not sure. But he has to be careful, because I might have some ideas also. If he just takes on b5, I think that's probably his best option. Yeah, because if queen f4, then can I just play g5 here? No, g5 doesn't work because queen f6, king h5, and then rook takes h7 checkmate. So maybe we can play here first, and then if he plays rook e5 check, then we have g5. All the while, my drawing possibilities are not entirely diminished because I have both of my rooks on the second rank, and that's always good. Okay, and that I did not see. So that's unfortunate. We lost that game. But let's go ahead and go into the analysis. It's just finishing its little check from chess.com. And the message they're giving me, that game slipped through your fingers. Ooh, and 5 blunders. That's not good. Let's check it out. Basic analysis. And hopefully this is on the correct area of the screen. %, through. And so it looks like at some point I was actually doing much better on the evaluation graph. So we'll have to see where I went wrong. It was pretty equal, quiet-ish opening, which was interesting because I thought the first couple of moves were a little dubious. So it's calling the game a throwaway, unfortunately. So e4 book, e5 book, bishop c4, knight f6, knight f3, knight c6, and then d4. So he captures d4, knight captures d4. Now it says knight captures e4 is good here, but I was supposed to play d5. That's interesting. d5, pawn take d5. I'm not sure what happens in that scenario. But I'm thinking the stockfish right now is saying knight captures e4 is best. So I think I may have made the correct move. So like I thought, that was a mistake. g6 is best, queen d5 is best, king g7 is best. Okay, So queen captures e4 is a mistake. And now why am I winning a piece here? Oh, bishop b4 check. Very interesting. So it gains me a tempo. And it means he either has to move his king, I guess, or... And where is he going to move his king to? If he moves his king to... If he moves his king to d1, let's just go ahead and look at this line. So bishop here, king d1, says rook e8, rook e8, queen f4, king g, and the game goes on. But basically I'm controlling the e1 square indefinitely, and the goal is, I guess, maybe to play queen e7 and just start to try to checkmate along there. And he has a hard time developing his pieces, so I should have went for this line, but I missed it, unfortunately. So b captures c6 is a blunder because of what I expected. See, in this position, bishop c5 is already bad because he's just winning a piece. But b captures c6 is even worse because now it's losing the bishop, checking, and queen captures b2 is an inaccuracy from this move I didn't see, bishop d4. Of course, I have to take on d4 basically if I lost the queen for 2 minor pieces, and he's just up pawns at this point. And afterwards, I mean, I was playing a lot of the best moves. Rook, it wanted me to capture with the other rook, I guess, which makes sense. Try to keep defending the bishop. Okay, and so in this position, rook captures a2 was a mistake because I had rook captures f2. And the idea is, if he takes here, then I'm winning. Rook d1 check, rook here, and not bishop takes, but rook takes with checkmate. And so that would have been a nice line if I could have seen it a little earlier, maybe tricked him. But basically, ever since I missed bishop e4 check, I was probably losing because my king was too unsafe. And bishop f4 was just a blunder all around because I didn't see queen e5 check at the end where he was winning the bishop. He did a good job keeping up the advantage. So kudos to my opponent. Alrighty. And I think that's going to wrap up the video, guys. Thanks for watching. If you like what I'm doing, go ahead, drop a like. I'm probably going to be streaming as much as possible for a couple hours on YouTube, probably tomorrow, as soon as my live streaming abilities get activated from YouTube. And yeah, go ahead and subscribe if you like. Like I said, this is a pretty casual channel. I'm not really going to put a ton of effort into editing videos. It's more going to be one clips, and like whatever happens, if I lose the game, I'm going to upload it. That's just whatever it is, because if you can't always catch the streams, I'd like you to at least get a little bit of time to interact in the comment section during these videos, and I'll read all of your comments and try to reply to as many as possible. So anyway, see you later, guys. Bye.